Hey, Facebook friends, this is Christine Lukin, your financial lifeguard. I hope you guys are doing well today. If you're watching, please say hi or give me a thumbs up so that I know you are here. So I posted yesterday, and I'll probably post the link again today, that my blog post, Four Lies That Money Gurus Tell You, is part of the Rockstar Rumble, which is put on by Rockstar Finance. And essentially, it's just putting two different blogs head to head, and people vote on them, and the winners move on to the next bracket, kind of like basketball. So it's actually a really high honor to have one of your blogs chosen for this annual event. So I was just super stoked and excited that the Four Lies Money Gurus Tell You was selected for that. So I got a really interesting comment on the blog this morning. And, hey, James. And sometimes when people disagree with us or they post something that counters what we believe, our first instinct is like just to delete it. So, honestly, at first I thought, well, you know what, I disagree with this comment, and this person pretty much doesn't agree with any of the four lies that money gurus tell you. So I'm just not going to approve it. But you know what, the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what, I'm okay with people disagreeing me. I know I'm not right 100% of the time. So I put the link to the blog here so you guys can read it. And I'm going to read this person's comments, and then I'm just going to talk about the differences, because you know what, money is not a black and white issue. There are a lot of shades of gray. So I'm probably going to butcher this poor person's name because it's Nenad, Nenad. So now he posted this at 3:15 in the morning, so either he was up really late last night, or maybe he's on the other side of the world. That's entirely possible. So this person, I'm assuming it's a man. I do not like your post because you have missed the mark on almost all points. Number one, prosperity plan is actually a budget. It is pointless to invent a new name and not add anything of value to it. Yes, a budget is a plan where you will redirect your money. If you see a budget as a restriction, you are not budgeting correctly. Okay, first of all, a prosperity plan is not a budget. A prosperity plan is much more than a budget. Here's why. A budget is simply allocating your income. With a prosperity plan, yes, we do allocate your spending. However, the other thing is, actually, there's a lot of other moving parts to a prosperity plan. There is the whole part about making plans to grow and increase your income. The other part of it is debt reduction and having a set plan to increase your savings. The other thing that is missing from a budget is your vision for the future. So a budget is really just allocating your spending. A prosperity plan is a much more holistic picture of your entire finances. So with a prosperity plan, in the prosperity plan worksheets that I use, there is one sheet for spending, but there's also a sheet for tracking your net worth. There's also a sheet for your income sources. There's also a sheet in there for your debt reduction plan, along with your goals. So a prosperity plan is a lot more than just allocating your spending. The other thing that he says, it's pointless to invent a new name. Okay, here's the thing. Words are very important when it comes to managing your money. And how you talk about your money affects how you interact with it. And if you have had a negative experience with a budget, then naming it something new that is positive actually does have benefits. It's just the same thing like calling your eating plan a healthy eating plan versus a diet. It feels different, right? So number 2, quote, scientists have recently proven that humans make decisions emotionally, not logically. This is false. Which scientist is that? If you have read proper scientific literature, you would know how people are really making decisions. Well, that one I have to completely disagree with, because the scientist's name is Antonio Damasio. And he did a study back in the early 2000s. And he studied people with damage in the part of the brain where emotions are generated. He found that they seemed normal, except they were not able to feel emotions. But they all had something peculiar in common. They couldn't make decisions. They could describe what they should be doing in logical terms, yet they found it very difficult to make even simple decisions, such as what to eat. Many decisions have pros and cons. So I have chicken or the turkey. With no rational way to decide, these test subjects were unable to arrive at a decision. So at the point of decision, emotions are very important for choosing. So in fact, even with what we believe are logical decisions, the very point of choice is arguably always based on emotions. So I actually modified the blog post and put that link in there to that study where they talk about that in detail, because that is very important to understand that making decisions really does happen in that part of your brain that processes emotion. And that's why my approach is so different, because I infused that knowledge with all my financial strategies. It's all about harnessing your positive emotions and shutting off those negative emotions so that you can really achieve those goals that you want to. So number 3, quote, we have a limited amount of willpower each day. This is also refuted by scientific research. Read When by Daniel Pink to understand how willpower fluctuates during the day. Yes, I understand willpower does fluctuate during the day. So the whole point, really, and yes, we do have a limited amount of willpower each day. And yes, it does fluctuate depending on things like how much energy we have, how much sleep we've had, our natural circadian rhythms. But the whole point of line number 3 is let's leave willpower out of the equation, because willpower is fickle. And like you said, willpower fluctuates throughout the day. Why leave it up to chance? If we can minimally rely on willpower and rely on instead on the power of our emotions and the power of habit, then we don't have to worry about how much willpower we have. We don't have to worry about how our willpower is fluctuating, because sometimes you have to make money decisions and they have to happen at a certain time of the day. You can't mindfully shift that decision based off of how your willpower is fluctuating. Certainly, it's good to understand that. And yes, sometimes in order to create new positive habits, we do have to exercise a small amount of willpower. And the example that I use is, let's say you want to save more money. Well, it's much easier to exercise your willpower a little bit once and set up an automatic transfer of, say, $50 or $100 every time you get paid into your savings, rather than exercising that willpower each and every payday. So if you get paid every week, that means you have to, if you don't set up that automatic transfer, you have to exercise your willpower 52 times a year. So my whole thing is, let's not rely on willpower because it's fickle. That was the whole point that I was trying to make in that particular lie that I was uncovering. So finally, the last point was all about credit cards. And, essentially what I said is that, a lot of money gurus tell you to cut up your credit cards and just not use them at all. Well, first of all, there are certain people who are not tempted to overspend on credit cards. My husband is one of them. He is one of those individuals where he thoroughly researches his purchases, and when he decides he wants to buy something, it doesn't matter whether it's a credit card or cash or debit card. He already knows what the best choice is, what the best value is, and he's going to spend that money. So, credit cards, they can either be a payment method or they can be a debt machine. Now, some people, you may know, like, hey, I can't trust myself with a credit card, and that's totally fine. I am totally fine with that. You really just have to know yourself. That's the most important thing. So here's what Nanad says. Credit card miles do not make anyone rich. That's true. Find me one person who profited by using a credit card. Holy crap, you guys. There are so many money bloggers out there. Like if you go out onto the Rockstar Finance website where I posted where the Rumble is, there are so many people in there who have taken full advantage of credit card perks and have basically like made a hobby out of it. So there are a lot of people who have profited by using a credit card, as long as they're paying it off in full. He goes on to say it's just too convenient to overspend using credit cards, and reward points just don't compensate. I disagree. Like I said, when my husband decides he's going to buy something, it doesn't matter which payment method he's going to use. He's going to buy it. He's not someone that's an impulsive spender. He's very thoughtful about his spending. And because he has used his credit card to purchase the things that he's going to purchase anyways, I think last year he got $600 or $700 worth of Amazon gift cards. So you have a point regarding credit score. However, eliminating debt is one of the guru's main things, so credit score should not be of concern. I disagree with that. Your credit score should be of concern to you because most people are not going to pay cash for a house. And your financial reputation is also taken into account when you are doing a job search or if you are renting an apartment, and it also affects your rates when you're shopping for car insurance in most states. So, hate to disagree with you, but I am going to disagree with you. My point is that you really need to eliminate emotion from handling money. Well, that would be great if it was physically possible, right? Money is just a number, and math indeed has a final say. Do not buy stuff you cannot afford. I totally agree with that one. That's my guru advice. So I would love for you guys to weigh in on that and post your comments. So I have put the blog post up there, so you can go ahead and put your 2 cents in. I would highly appreciate that. And so anything else that maybe that I've missed, I'm just kind of looking through everybody's comments to see if I missed anything. Hey, Mark Delfini. Hey, Andrea. Lots of good people watching. I appreciate it. So, hey, that's what I have for you today. I actually have to hop off here because I do have a client call, helping people rescue their financial dignity. So, hope you guys have an amazing day. And just remember, with money, there's a lot of shades of gray. And there's a lot of opinions out there, but I'm really going to stand strong on this one. Money is emotional, and yes, there's scientific proof of that. So hope you guys have an amazing day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.